Fetter bitch said something that's a new low for him.
How you doing? I was wondering what you made of the Department of War's sinking of an Iranian naval ship today.
Oh, I want to offer condolences to your boss. I know he's all broke up about the Ayatollah. Was, you know,
who's our boss?
What?
Who's our boss?
Huh?
You're offering your condolences to my boss.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying though, it's like I know who you work for. It's very anti-Israel.
Dude, look at the look he gives Prem. He literally looks like a Resident Evil villain, dude.
It's very anti-Israel.
Classic sign of a brain injury. Oh, being a Zionist, I agree. I agree. It is a classic sign. Many such cases. He got those settler eyes. Oh my God. Phase 1 boss fight. He looks like the Chuds in the Wolfenstein games. He literally locked in on him for a brief moment. He's like a baby that lacks object permanence, right? But in that very moment, when he saw Prem in his beautiful brown skin, and he locked in. He was like, "Are you Palestinian?"
Israel. And
we just reported humanitarian loss, sir.
He's very anti-Israel, and I'm very pro-Israel. So we can agree and disagree on things.
Sure. Do you think it's okay for the U.S. to bomb an Iranian naval ship in international waters?
I think the world's better that he's dead now, and I think it's a good thing now that Iran will never acquire a nuclear bomb.
What about the naval ship today, though?
Well, I have much else to have that, and if they think it's a good idea to have a nuclear bomb, I really disagree on that.
Is it okay for the U.S. to bomb naval ships without a declaration of war, though?
I'm sorry. I support killing the Iranian leadership.
I'm not talking about leadership,
why wasn't he upset about the way they killed all the Iranians?
Senator.
Why wasn't he upset about it? He wasn't angry about
who's he?
The thousands and thousands.
Bro is struggling, dude. He's struggling to do what he loves the most, which is eating Israel's dick. All right, give me a fucking link for Trump Live. I'll tune into the disgusting pedophile president gleefully talking about destroying an entire fucking country.
Get a big piece of that, and will also make life wonderful for the people of Venezuela who have been very, very badly hit. So that's a lot said in a short period of time, but you can witness it for yourself. And now we'll get on to something that I'm very proud of, because it was sort of my idea, like very much so. Build your own power plant. And everybody thought I was kidding. They said, really, you can do that? How would you do that? I said, we'll get you fast permits. Then you'll build your own plants, but we're going to discuss it in great detail with the biggest people in the industry and some of our great leaders and senators. And congratulations on the Medal of Honor for your 100-year soldier. You know, 100 years old, 101 to be exact. And Daryl's been fighting that he get the Congressional Medal of Honor for many years, Daryl, right?
Mr. President, I give you all the credit for overcoming
We're ruled by pedophilic monsters.
The lawyers in the Department of the Navy in a way that I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
And well, nobody could have done it but you.
Maybe it'll be a long, we had to get it to him a little bit quickly, but he looks like he's in good shape. He's got some years left, right?
He's planning to come back here for your next Medal of Honor ceremony. And, he's also going to be the star at Tailhook this summer if you want to come to Reno.
Well, I congratulate you for that success. That was amazing. He didn't stop. I've known him a long time. He never stops. So congratulations. It's very nice. We're here this afternoon for a historic signing that will help keep down utility bills very, very substantially, and electricity prices for millions of Americans, and in many cases for a lot of people that don't really understand why they're going up, but they're not going to be going up, they're going to be actually going down. Today we followed through on an announcement I made in my State of the Union address last week as America's largest tech companies officially signed the Ratepayer Protection Pledge. It's a big deal. It's going to have a tremendous impact on electricity costs. We're bringing down all of the costs. We're having this little interlude to do what we have to do because we had it going, but these interludes are very important, especially this one. But the economy has never been like this. We broke 50,000 on the Dow. People thought we wouldn't do that within the first 4 years. We did it in the first year. And we brought 7 on the S&P, 7,000. on the S&P, they said that's even less likely to happen. And we did that too, all within the first year. Under this new agreement, big tech companies are committing to fully cover the cost of increased electricity production required for AI data centers, and that would be prices for American communities will not go up, but in many cases will actually come down and very substantially. Because, you know, the data centers, and you people are so big, you're the biggest in the world, but they've developed a little bit of a bad public, they need some PR help, because people think that if a data center goes in, their electricity prices are going to go up, and that's not happening.
The
it's
data
not going to
centers,
happen. And
people don't like
for the
them.
areas where it did happen, it won't happen anymore, because they never had this alternative. It's actually going to mean the prices come down. You're going to see how badly they want. Some centers were rejected by communities for that, and now I think it's going to be just the opposite. This means that the tech companies and the data centers will be able to get the electricity they need, all without driving up electricity costs for consumers. This is a historic win for countless American families, and will also make our electricity grid stronger and more resilient than ever before. So that's part of it. It's going to be strengthened up, and they're going to be getting a lot of excess electricity from the data centers where they build their own plants. They're going to be creating their own electricity. We're pleased to be joined today by Speaker Mike Johnson, who's got a difficult job, but he does it as easy as anybody I've ever seen do that job. It's never easy when you have a majority of 2, or sometimes less. Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes less, but he's amazing. And Energy Secretary Chris Wright, who's worked so hard, and Senators Katie Britt, Bernie Moreno.
Do you think Peter
John
Thiel's behind this to
Husted.
create his country
everybody.
praxis? Because he's
Really
behind a lot
great.
of terrible
Thanks,
things.
Katie.
Hella connection to Trump.
Representative
No, this
Darrell
is
Ison,
Israel's design,
Derek
dude. There is
Van
no.
Orden. Thank you both, and Derek, thank you. Nice to see you.
This is what the fuck is this?
OSTP Director Michael Kratzios.
Why are you sending this to me?
AI and crypto czar
This is what he
David
said in the
Sachs.
beginning. Here, let's see what he fucking said in the beginning. President Trump just now on Iran. If we didn't hit it within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. Oh my God. No one even believes it. Not only does no one believe it, but also their heart's not even in it. Their heart's not even fucking in it. They just don't care. They don't care. A federal government contractor for the defense, for the Department of War at Dover Air Force Base, DE, has posted to Indeed.com seeking multiple part-time on-call personnel effects specialists. The position will support, receive, safeguard, inventory, store, process, and make final disposition of personal effects of military and civilian casualties from overseas. This position appeared on site within the last 7 days. What the fuck? They didn't have this already? They needed it. Dude, the number of casualties is far greater. Not for active duty personnel and like reservists. You can't really hide those deaths. But defense contractors. America, war has changed quite a bit. Even from the global war on terror era. Okay, it's changed quite a bit. Right now, America utilizes defense contractors quite a bit. There's also forces there that are in the CIA, you know what I mean? Like they're on the State Department side, and when they die, you won't hear about it. And I think they're probably melting a lot of defense contractors without, and you don't get to hear about it at all. Instead of like active duty reservists, because the active duty reservist protocol for informing like next of kin is intact. I don't think they can, as far as I understand, I don't think they can hide those as well or as easily. I'm sure if there's like a special circumstance, if there's like an entire like naval asset that burned or something, they can try and hide it to the best of their ability in order to withstand the PR shock that will come as a consequence of that. But they can and do with regular frequency hide the total number of casualties and the total number of deaths when it comes down to contractors that they deploy in the region. So if there's like a lot of these at these bases, if you have, I mean, there are chatters in here who might even literally be at the bases right now. There are chatters in here who, well, you probably can't watch right now if you're literally in the Gulf. I suspect that they don't let you watch or use your phone any longer. I think I saw the CENTCOM notification that said don't use your apps at all. But if you've ever been stationed in one of these bases, you can tell me if that's the case or not. But I'm pretty sure. I suspect that like some of the guys that they're some of the people that may or may not have been killed is they're if they're defense contractors, like we will not hear about it. U.S. contractors in Kuwait decry meager bunkers and pay cuts amid Iran war were treated as expendable. Employees say they've heard little from major defense contractor V2X Inc. about safety and evacuation protocols. Yeah, they are expendable. I don't think these guys understand. I can watch it from Saudi Arabia, but I live and work here, not military. Yeah, no, I'm saying if you're a military, if you're in the military right now, if you're active duty and you're in the Gulf, they don't want you to use, I saw the CENTCOM notification. They don't want you to use, a lot of phone applications because they suspect that either China or Iran is using that for targeting. And that's the reason why they have these drone strikes that take place on civilian properties like hotels and apartment complexes where like, why the fuck are they hitting these hotels? Why the fuck are they hitting these apartment complexes? It's because there's assets, and CENTCOM thinks that the way that they're finding the strike targets is the phone applications that people are using. Yeah, it's the same as don't smoke at night back in the day. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I think the numbers are probably a lot higher when you calculate the total number of casualties. When you look at the actual defense contractors have probably also been killed.
It's not. And here's the other thing. You'll have your approvals within 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, this motherfucker's still talking about all this other shit like energy deals and whatnot. But we are going to get back to Iran. What the goals are, what the ambition is, who we're doing this for. And what the clandestine operations are on the ground. As I showed you, Israel itself has openly revealed that their goal here is to create as much chaos as possible against the Revolutionary Guards and utilize the existing ethnic tensions to foment like some kind of to basically create chaos in the country, right? If you get the IRGC's ground units to move around, because on the one hand, you got to squash a rebellion that's taking place over there with like the Balochistan separatist movement. On the other hand, you got to, go to like the Kurdish ethnic enclaves and stamp out protests and discontent and like actual fucking, it's not even like a protest at that point. It's just like straight up warfare. Especially when these guys are gearing up, tuning up the IRGC to react with, to react against what these guys are doing is objectively terrorism at that point, right? In that predicament, you have the military's existing units spread out to the best of your ability, and it makes it, I guess, easier for American troops to eventually come in if they were to do like a landing operation, which again, very limited options as far as where they could invade Iran from, with where they can create like a supply line, because Iran, as I've shown you before, if you look at a fucking topographical map, is surrounded basically 3 parts by mountains. Okay. So they're going to try to divide the IRGC. They're going to try to divide the forces if there is actually additional boots on the ground participation from American units. Let me tell you who's not going to be on there. Let me tell you what boots are not going to touch Iranian soil. Israeli boots. Just so we're clear, it will be American boots. It'll be your neighbors that go and fight and die in the Iranian mountainside for Israel. It will not be Israeli boots that touch the soil. Make no fucking mistake. Okay? Israel, small country. Israel, too small. Israel, tiny nation, size of New Jersey. No politic here. No politic, I say. You know? A coalition of the willing. But that's what this is. That's what's going on. That's what they're gearing up for. It's pretty crazy how open the American media is in their coverage so far as well. Like, Hey, Kurds, sorry we just handed you over to the Syrian government after years of successful cooperation. Would you like to repeat the same thing in Iran, but faster? One person familiar with the discussion, this is on CNN. One person familiar with the discussion said that the idea would be for Kurdish armed forces to take on Iranian security forces and pin them down to make it easier for unarmed Iranians in major cities to turn out without getting massacred again, as they were during the unrest in January. Another U.S. official said the Kurds could help sow chaos in the region and stretch the Iranian regime's military resources thin. When I say it, people go, Hasan, you're an ethnic supremacist. You're a Turk. Of course you hate the Kurds. But CNN is literally writing verbatim what the design is here. Okay? It's very clear. And to the Iranians that are, you know, to the Iranians in the diaspora who want to make sense of this, or maybe they want to hear from an opposing perspective, and they're getting really mad at me, and they think, Hasan, you don't understand. Like, we love Israeli bombs or whatever. I want my grandparents to die because as long as, like, we can have a free and liberal Iran, I need you to understand, you are not going to have a free and liberal Iran. You are just not going to have an Iran at all, okay? You are not different, okay? You are not different than the Iraqis. You are not different than the Libyans. You are not different than the Afghan population. I know you think you are. It's a very well-educated populace, okay? I know you think that you can overcome this. You can't, because at the end of the day, when a fucking American bomb is flying overhead, it's going to destroy your home. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill your children. It's going to kill your neighbors, okay? It doesn't matter how big-brained you are. It doesn't matter how invested in liberalism you are. America and Israel's designs for your country is not that, okay? If you have any suspicion in your heart that America and Israel actually want to liberalize Iran and create a liberal secular democracy in Iran, drop it now, okay? They are not invested in this at all.
In a few days, in under a week, the two most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the
Cringe, dude. Oh my God. Stop sending me fucking AI videos from like the pro-Iranian OSINT accounts, dude. Please. It's just AI slop all around. It's unbelievable how much fucking AI slop people post.
Missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power every minute of every day.
This goes hard for every dumb fuck, by the way. Like, you know, like every European tuning into the Asmongold channel is like, oh, yes, this is so good, yeah. Oh, I love this. It feels like I'm coming. It feels like I'm doing it, yeah. Oh, are we killing the people? Oh, it's so good. Meanwhile, enjoy not having fucking gas in the upcoming weeks, dumbass. Oh, you're based! Your base is so based. I love the Americanish genocide. I love it. It's like I'm doing the genocide myself. Meanwhile, I have no autonomy, no sovereignty. Yeah, it's fine. I love being the servile dog of the Americanish state. Oh, please.
Until we decide it's over. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets. Death and destruction from the sky, all day long. We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours.
Oh my God. 12-year-olds with fighter jet magazine collections are so stoked about this. No, it's not. It's worse than that. It's like 45-year-olds living in their fucking parents' basement with no job prospects and no positive outcomes for a fucking future that are lucky enough to maintain that shelter for as long as they can until, God forbid, their parental unit experiences a debilitating medical disaster and therefore collapses the family's finances, and he no longer has that shelter anyway and no job prospects. Remember, I need to explain that to you one more time, because guess what? AI is taking over whatever kind of IT position they could have possibly gotten in the fucking future, okay? And they sit around, 45 years old, no bitches whatsoever, okay? No job whatsoever, no money whatsoever, and sit in their crusty fucking boxers in between watching the Bungulator or whatever the fuck is called, the burnt peanut stream and the Asmongold stream, flipping in and out, thinking, well, America has a mighty military and they're killing a bunch of brown people overseas, and that makes me feel fucking powerful. Okay? That's it. Hey, maybe you can join ICE, the fascist, the fattest Hitler brigade anyone has ever seen. Maybe you can join that. While American officials could not be more explicit that this is a war intended to maximize death, destruction, and despair inside of Iran, there are Iranians outside of Iran who believe this war is for democracy. I don't even care about listening to fucking Iranian voices, the diaspora voices. I don't really, I think many of them that celebrated will come to that conclusion fairly shortly, okay? Yes, right now they think, oh, this is to liberalize Iran or whatever. They're silly enough to believe that Iranians will be different, okay? However, very soon when they get that devastating phone call from the remaining family members that, you know, their grandparents got fucking ethered by American weapons that they paid with their tax dollars to go and bomb Iran, an act that they celebrated, they'll probably change their fucking tune. And while we were talking, Senate voted in favor of war.
We have there that sort of
48-52 U.S. votes in favor of war.
A bit better.
Shouts out to John Fetterman. He did that shit. All right, let's get to the elections that took place last night, and then I'll talk more about Iran if there's more updates.
James Tallarico has defeated Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, while longtime Republican Senator John Cornyn will face a runoff against State Attorney General Ken Paxton. While Paxton is...
Tallarico bros, we're going to make it. For all the Tallarico bros in the chat, things are looking up, okay? We're going to war with Iran. It's insane. We are already in war with Iran, chat. What do you mean? We've been in war.
An ally of President Trump, the president did not endorse any candidates in this primary. Ed O'Keefe is in Austin with the latest on this first key vote. It is officially midterm election season. Ed, good morning.
That's right. Get excited, Adriana. Good morning. Record Democratic turnout appears to have paid off in Tallarico's favor. As you mentioned, CBS News projects that he has defeated Congresswoman Crockett with more than 50% of the vote and avoids a runoff in May. The 36-year-old is a state lawmaker from here in the Austin area who put off his seminary studies in order to launch this campaign, believing he can combine support from Democrats, independents in this state, and Republicans upset with the president to successfully win. Now, over on the Republican side, failing to get 50% of the vote, Senator John Cornyn is now in a runoff with State Attorney General Ken Paxton. The senator saying last night he won't allow what he called a flawed, self-centered, and shameless candidate like Ken Paxton to risk decades of GOP success. Paxton has spent years facing multiple investigations, an impeachment attempt, and allegations of corruption. He says while national Republicans may be ready to spend tens of millions of dollars against him, quote, the people are on our side. Early polling shows Tallarico could defeat Paxton in November. That's the nightmare scenario for Republicans. Remember, Democrats haven't won a statewide race in a Lone Star State since back in 1994. One other thing we're watching here in Texas, bad signs for members of the House of Representatives. Already one of them has lost his job, Dan Crenshaw. He was not endorsed by President Trump, so his more conservative opponent prevailed in that primary, and we're keeping an eye on at least two Democratic House incumbents in this state from the Dallas and Houston areas who either are headed to runoffs or may have lost their primaries, and they were in those districts that were redrawn by Republicans in this state at the request of President Trump. Redistricting, Kelly, is indeed a factor in these races.
Oh, it definitely is. Those were some very surprising results. Ed, thank you.
Because I recognize
This is Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes III, who also is replacing Jasmine Crockett's seat in Texas's 30th congressional district. This speech, this sermon he is delivering, is from October 8th, 2023. Listen to my man's words.
I recognize that we got to be pro-Israel. Yeah, we got to do that. Or we get in trouble. Well, I'm coming to get in trouble. Israel, and I'm going to quote Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter says that Israel is engaging in apartheid with Palestinians. And so the Palestinians who don't have the weaponry of Israel, the Palestinians don't have the financial backing from the United States that Israel has. And so they throw their rocks and shoot their arrows, and Israel is able to bomb them and kill them. Watch in the news the disparity between Palestinians being killed and Israelis being killed. It is totally unfair, but this country's going to stand on the side of apartheid because that's its track record. It stood by apartheid in South Africa because it created apartheid in this country. Because the sad thing is, we live in a nation where twisted, toxic theology is poisoning the politics of this nation. Have you thought about the fact that this week in Utah, a white
Dude, woke preachers rise the fuck up!
Christian got killed by a white Christian. And then the next day, HBCUs were under threat. Now, how did we get in it? I mean, that's called white on white crime. You came the wrong Sunday if you thought I'm sorry, I see y'all are real sophisticated and you look really good. I hope they warned you about me, okay? Because on this Sunday, we gonna keep it 100. On this Sunday, we gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so here they are. Here they are. In Utah. It's more of us in church than in Utah. We ain't got nothing to do with what they just did. A white Christian gets killed, murdered, not assassinated. We're going to tell the whole truth today. Martin King got assassinated. Malcolm X got assassinated. Medgar X got assassinated. Don't compare Kirk to King. Ain't no such comparison now.
Bro, he said this right after Kirk got assassinated. This is the close murdered. Sorry, not assassinated. This is the closest I've ever felt in terms of timing and intensity of messaging and messaging discipline and consistency with anyone that's ever run for office. Like literally, this is obviously like with Zoran, I felt represented in many ways that I never thought I would be represented in. As far as like messaging intensity and timing, this is the closest I've ever felt to being represented.
Let me hasten to say, I'm anti-political violence. Kirk should still be alive. I don't agree with the time with anything Kirk said. What Kirk said was dangerous. What Kirk said was racist, rooted in white supremacy, nasty, and hate-filled. But he still should be alive. He still should be playing with his kids. He still should be experiencing the love with his wife. He still should be experiencing life as he saw it. I don't want anybody, please hear me well, anybody to be victimized by political violence, but I'm going to keep it a buck. Because one of the things that gets me, and we got some politicians in here, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to come for you if you ever say this. If you ever say, America, we better than this. You lying. You lying. We ain't better than this. America was born in political violence. America committed political violence during the slave trade. America committed political violence when black bodies hung as strange fruit on southern trees. America committed political violence against the Irish, against the Italians before they became white. America committed political violence when America passed Jim and Jane Crow laws. What do you think political violence was? Political violence when they bombed and massacred Black Wall Street, when they massacred Rosewood, when they massacred whites and blacks in Wilmington, North Carolina. Well, what do you think political violence is? Martin being killed, that's political violence. John Kennedy being killed, political violence. Robert Kennedy being killed, political violence. And you gonna say we better than this? No, you can't fix what you won't face until you look in the mirror and say this is a violent country that has done violence to too many people. We will never get our act together. It's time to repent, because if my people called by my name humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal the land. Come on, we better than this. No, we ain't. A lot of us don't realize this, but Martin
Yes, the interview's in the works. He's a Justice Democrat.
King in his last Sunday sermon said that, and he compared America to Dives in the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. And Lazarus is poor. Dives is rich. Dives is Elon Musk rich. And when justice showed up, Lazarus goes to heaven. The question is, why did Dives go to hell? Dives went to hell, Dr. King said, because he majored in minors and minored in majors. Dives went to hell because he didn't recognize that your wealth ain't about you. It's what you can do for others around you. Dives went to hell, and then Dr. King said America may have the same experience. America may go to hell because America has President Elon Musk, straight out, who grew up in South African apartheid. He grew up with black folk, second-class citizens, violently being suppressed. And now Elon Musk has ordered his puppet to withdraw aid from South Africa.
I slow down here because there is a political environment that has made othering okay. A political environment that has weaponized hatred. And as a consequence, we have a terrorist group of ICE agents who are moving throughout this nation and engaging in waging war on communities, especially communities of color. I'm here to fight against that. I'm here to stand against that. 9 persons have been killed since September by ICE agents. That's not accidental. That's a trend. That's a pattern that has been set up by the environment created by a rogue White House with a Congress that won't hold that White House accountable.
You should be seeing Twitter right now. They're now digging up tweets from 2020 of Talarico saying racism is bad and every Republican in the country is coding this. They're scared. Yeah, the environment shifted last night when a swagged out, quirked up white boy that kind of came out of nowhere and did like a fucking Jubilee video and shit turned around and blessed the timelines with a resounding W, with a commanding victory in the Democratic primaries. Okay. Now, of course, it's frustrated a lot of K-hivers, and they're, you know, they're licking their wounds currently. I'm sure they're going to be fucking extra annoying after they're done licking their wounds. But another brilliant opportunity arose from that moment. Democratic U.S. House candidate Frederick Haynes is filling the seat of Jasmine Crockett. Like, this is Western media. Why missile mass could be in Tehran's favor. This is Sky News writing it. So whenever people are like, oh, you're coping, or whatever, I'm actually making a very sober assessment. I'm not saying that, like, the situation in Iran is good. I'm not saying the future of Iran is good. As a matter of fact, I keep talking about how fucking devastating this is so far, and how devastating it certainly will be if Israel gets its entire agenda across, which is full-blown destabilization, fomenting ethnic tensions, all this stuff, right? But I do see a lot of people on the internet finding themselves in one camp over the other. There are some people who literally get duped by successful Iranian strikes on Tel Aviv that are just straight up AI videos, and they keep posting them and they go super viral, and it's very frustrating, okay, for someone like myself who cares about the fucking truth. And there's also a lot of people who think like, oh, they've already destroyed like 99% of all the missiles that Iran has, or they've depleted all of their missile stocks and all that stuff. That's all bullshit. The real problem for Iran here is whether or not they have enough launchers, whether they can get those launchers outside of the underground facilities that they have, and launch it in time before the missile launchers are blown up by Israeli or American drones. Okay. And sometimes, I guess, like American Air Force as well, or Israeli Air Force as well, will do bombing campaigns. The problem for the American Air Force is that even if they do B-2 stealth bombing campaigns, which they have done so far, and these are very costly initiatives, okay? They fly from the United States of America, go all the way to fucking Tehran, go all over they go above the Iranian airspace, and they drop these bunker busters. There's no guarantee that those bunker busters are actually hitting the stockpile at all. The truth is that Iran still has quite a few missiles and launchers, but the launches themselves haven't been the most effective. Over 90% of the missiles have been intercepted, and most damage to the bases have been superficial, but they still have more to use. No, I don't think the damage to the bases have been superficial. They have actually been able to successfully take out radar installations and shit like that as well in the Gulf bases. Also, if they ever successfully take out an interceptor launcher in Israel, or successfully take out a radar facility in Israel, you will never know about it. Okay. The real problem for the American side, the real problem for the Israeli side, is that they're, you know, eating away at their stockpile. And the cost benefit is obviously very favorable to Iran in the situation, which is what I suspect Sky News is going to explain.
Are expensive, but are the costs of America's attack on Iran financially and logistically unsustainable? Take a look at this. This is Iranian state-affiliated media showcasing vast stockpiles of low-cost but highly lethal Shahed drones. In response to America and Israel's attack on Iran, the regime launched hundreds of these against its attackers and their allies. But there's a huge mathematical mismatch between the cost of Iran's weapons and those used to defend against them. Take the UAE, for example. It's had amazing success in thwarting Iranian missile and drone attacks, claiming to have downed more than 90% of those fired at it in the first 3 days of the conflict. But a Shahed drone costs between $20,000 and $50,000. The missiles used to intercept them between $500,000 and $1.5 million. One analyst estimating it could have cost the UAE up to $750 million to thwart an attack of around 500 Shahed drones. That's 20 to 30 times more than it cost Iran to launch them.
The math clearly favors Iran in this strategy of attrition, because they just have, we don't know exactly how many Shahed drones they might have in their stockpiles, but it's much larger than the combined total of the stockpiles of interceptor missiles that are available. We're now seeing sort of a race between Israel and the United States trying to locate this drone infrastructure to try to destroy it. to reduce the pressure on these interceptors versus Iran trying to keep it an active threat.
The UAE says it's got plenty of missile stockpiles to continue to defend itself, but it's been reported that America's allies in the Middle East are desperately trying to replenish their supplies of mainly US-made missile interceptors. The question is, will they be able to do that, given it looks like America may well be running out of ammo too? Take Tomahawk missiles, very effective and very expensive, being launched here from warships off Iran. It's estimated the US military's deployed up to 400 Tomahawk missiles to the Middle East, but that represents 10% of the 4,000-strong US arsenal. Stockpiles of THAAD missiles are thought to be seriously depleted too. America reportedly launching around 150 of them in its 12-day war with Iran in June last year. That represents about a quarter of its 600.
It's okay, guys. America can make 14 a year. That's right. 14. They depleted a quarter of the total existing inventory suspected.
Plus stockpiles of that weapon.
We are using these interceptors at a rate that's much faster than you can possibly replace them. The problem is that increases your long-term strategic risk, particularly in other theaters.
America, of course, can always withdraw from the Middle East once it's run out of weapons, but analysts warn its peer adversaries are watching. If America depletes its arsenal through campaigns like this, what power would it have to deter?
We banned that one chatter that said U.S. has a contingency plan, but I really want to know what he would say right now. I really want to know what the fuck he'd be saying right now about the U.S. contingency plan.